Welcome to MoocLab's interview series, Life-Changing Experiences of Learning with MOOCs. My name is Carolyn McIntyre. I'm CEO of MoocLab.club, a community website connecting people to online learning. Today we'll be meeting Ahmed Shibrain, who is passionate about data and works in IT in his home country of Sudan, where he's also involved in some humanitarian projects. He is a self-directed learner and advocate of lifelong learning, having completed a large number of MOOCs in a variety of subjects, including a specialization course in data science from Coursera. He plans to enroll into more specialization courses on Coursera in big data and business analytics. And he is about to pursue a master's degree in information systems. So over we go to Sudan, where hopefully Ahmed is waiting for us. Hello, Ahmed.
Hi, Caroline.
Hi, how are you?
It's fine.
Great.
How are you?
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this interview and for sharing your insights and experiences with learning with MOOCs. Maybe to start off with, Ahmed, you could tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do so that we get to know you a little bit better.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. First of all, allow me to thank you and the MoocLab team for your efforts. After I did my undergraduate in computer science, I worked for some local and international companies aside of doing consultancies for many humanitarian and development projects for different types of entities like UN agencies, World Bank, USAID, and for other international and as well national organizations. I began my career life as in software developer. Then I played many different kind of roles in software analysis, data analytics, business intelligence. I also have been participated in establishing many ICT services and platforms in projects in many fields from CRM, business, SMS banking, markets monitoring, and food security, disasters. I had also an experience with academia for short-term 1 year part-time undergraduate level teaching assistant. And I'm building my career around data and analytics with focus on humanitarian and development field. Which needs familiarity of interdisciplinary backgrounds. So to reach that, since 2013, I have enrolled for around 100 MOOCs till now, from different universities, platform in different aspects of knowledge fields, from economics to finance, marketing, analytics, humanities, development, informatics, humanitarian education, and even social sciences. I know now you are quite a bit thinking that it's big number, but by the way, I had been amazed when I did the count. But that includes all MOOCs I have been to, even just to watch a specific module or to get particular chunk of knowledge. I successfully completed more than 30 MOOCs as full courses with full participation in assignments and projects. That includes the one Coursera specialization, which is a set of courses, and a capstone project with an international company. For the time being, I'm serving in a part-time position as IT specialist, and I'm also pursuing my master's degree in information systems.
Wow, that's quite an impressive learning pathway that you've got there, Ahmed. Going back to MOOCs, as this is what this interview series focuses on, can you tell us how you first became aware of MOOCs?
Well, that back to 2012, late 2012. I had been thinking about pursuing my master's abroad. I wasn't sure by that time which subject to go for, but I had an interest in analytics in general and had been fascinated about the hype that big data bring into news. Since my undergraduate studies, I had passion about machine learning algorithms and this particular field. So I found data science a hot topic to go for, but by that time there were very few number of programs available. At the same time, they were very expensive and not affordable for me. Also, I had that feeling of lack of long-term plan even if I did my master's. So I had been reading many articles here and there to get more ideas about my area of interest and to expand my knowledge in the area. Accidentally, I do not remember the details, but I found myself opening a Coursera course called Introduction to Data Science from University of Washington, which was about to open 5 months later. Then I start browsing Coursera. I found the different kind of learning online courses, different kind of learning platform. Unlike once I used to see like Stanford Open courses and similar platforms, which were typically just materials published online. So I start learning more about MOOCs, and immediately I enrolled for January 2013 MOOCs on Coursera. That is how it all began with me.
Okay, and I imagine when you first started studying this type of online course, you found it very different to the more traditional ways of learning. How did you adapt to this different type of learning?
Adaptation. Okay, my first experience with MOOCs was great. Although I was unfamiliar with the platform of Coursera, but I found myself getting into it easily. I found myself completely focused on the materials and engaging on discussions with peers. But it was obvious that at that time that Coursera platform itself was adapting on the different education style, since it starts to provide its service only for less than 1 year, since 2012. At that time it was 2013. I had been able to imagine what is missing in the environment for me as course taker, but it was totally okay. I didn't take much time to get familiar with the platform. That for the Coursera case only, not all MOOCs, not in all other platforms. I had many experience with other kind of platforms. Last year I enrolled for more MOOCs on the World Bank E-Institute, which is a platform of MOOCs provided by the World Bank and provide MOOCs from the World Bank Institute. I found the platform much harder to use, and I took too much time to get familiar with it. I think it needs some development in some areas. And many other cases, and some other cases I had MOOCs from Queensland University of Technology, and once I had a MOOC from EMC Corporate. Both of them were provided by the EthCast platform, which was good and easy. I think I didn't take time to adapt on it. Many other experiences. I had experience with YCAT University. They provide the course called Data Mining with Weka. The MOOC platform was designed by them. The MOOC was hosted on their own MOOC platform. Platform of YCAT University in New Zealand. They were using their own platform. It was okay, but it was very basic. I think it needs some I think proceeded less quality in the user experience, although the material was great, and then as well as the instructor, Professor Ian Witten. It was a great course, but the platform was not satisfying. So I think adaptation really depends on the platform. I think private sector like Coursera, EdCast, NuvoId, and many others did a good job in building mature MOOC platforms, and they do rapidly develop them to achieve high quality user experience that makes adaptation very easy.
Right, so it seems that the user experience that's created by the different platforms is actually a very important part of the experience of studying a MOOC, from what you're saying, and can obviously be a challenge, or if it's not easy to navigate. Generally speaking, have you faced any other challenges while taking MOOCs? But maybe, for example, because you live in Sudan, were there problems connected with your location, for example?
Well, U.S. sanctions is always there. Some platforms are even not allowed to be not accessible from Sudan even. Not UDK, I think, or other platforms. I'm not sure their names exactly. I faced problems with edX. I do not remember exactly. But generally, speaking about challenges, time management is the most challengeable issue, and to make balance between work, study, and social life, as my community is very social, as most of African communities. Beside the fact that I do always hold more than position, like 2 part-times or consultancies. Once I had 2 part-times and part-time TA, so sometimes it gets harder. So I had been sacrificing my social life many times in the last few years to achieve for satisfy my learning, and it became part of my lifestyle, which is hard, but that would always happen when we we have more passion about something than other.
Yes, absolutely.
The other challenge, yeah, the other challenge was to choose between MOOCs themselves. From time to time, I sit to set a plan about what MOOCs to study in the next 6 months, for example, and I have to select among tens of MOOCs in many fields of my interdisciplinary interests, and to serve both my current running tasks and my future plans and targets. So choices was the most common challenge in the journey. I think choosers could not be totally losers anyway.
That's great. And out of all the courses that you've taken, Ahmed, all the MOOCs you've taken, is there one that stands out for you as your favorite?
The question again, please.
Is there a MOOC which for you stands out as your favorite course?
Favorite course. Talking about favorite, that brings many factors to the game. I think every MOOC has a unique sentiment. It could be a combination of the participants' engagement with the course community, the instructor themselves, and TA performance, and how much the participant feel acquiring new skills and knowledge. Maybe the assessment methodology. But if I have to count, I could start by the introduction to data science, University of Washington, Professor Bilhar, microeconomics principles, University of Illinois, recommender systems from Michigan was good practical course of interesting topic. Model thinking also was one of my real favorite courses. It was a great course, aims to get insight about everyday activities here and there through mathematical models. Prof. Scott Peck, Introduction to Finance was one of my favorite courses. Also, I failed to complete the course, but it was great. From University of Michigan, Professor Gautam Kaur. Geospatial Intelligence from Pennsylvania State University was one of the best, especially for applying Ebola-related case study, which was happening by the time of the course. So sometimes it's great to work on real life problem. I could not end counting great courses from great universities, great professors. But the most favorable for me was the data science specialization, which was 9 courses and real life project. It was because of engaging with the same community for the 9 courses, and also the project. Anyway, the common feature between those MOOCs in my favorable courses on my list of favorites is that most of them were first release of the course, which means up-to-date materials with real-life present cases from issues that popping up in news, and it also guarantees interesting peers and discussions, because at the first release of the course, many people who are really interested in the topic and have been waiting for the course to be released will be there. So I think taking fresh MOOCs is a healthy habit.
That's some very good advice, I think, Ahmed. Not to spend time on MOOCs which are out of date, as people are able to access the content of past MOOCs, but to keep up with the fresh information is important.
Yeah.
So along the same lines, do you have any advice that you would give to someone who may be considering taking a MOOC for the first time, and what they should do to get the best out of studying a MOOC?
In MOOCs, there is less communication and interaction with course instructors. This is the main difference between courses, or physical offline courses and online courses. That's obvious for the physical availability of the student and the instructor, and the huge number of thousands of students in one MOOC. So some people would recommend to Google issues that you may be found. You may find some ambiguous issues or something like that. TAs and facilitators sometimes do a good job to bring gaps which caused by the problem I told about. But at the end of the day, gaps would be there, and many MOOCs participants would hold many questions to be answered. So participation on course discussion forums could be the best way to get good answers. So I advise new coming students to MOOCs to not depend on the material, on the course material fully, to discuss and not to just consume knowledge. Some other peers would be really good in the field, and they can explain the point even better than the video because of their practical experience, and could end up adding them in your professional network, LinkedIn, to continue communicate with them in future. So my advice, not to stick to the old plan of learning, the knowledge consuming. In MOOCs, discussions play an important role.
Right. Well, thank you for that advice, which I'm sure will be very helpful for people who are considering taking a MOOC. Do you think that anybody can take a MOOC, or do you think there are certain qualities that people should have to be able to succeed with that kind of learning?
Self-learning skills, maybe. I met many folks argue their ability to study any form of self-learning materials. Although MOOCs are not self-learning, but people tend to classify it as self-learning. English is very important, as the vast majority of courses in English, even though sometimes there is some translated materials and subtitles, and many people paying much effort volunteering to translate courses materials. But since the discussion forms would be in English, then folks who with no English are going to miss a lot of interesting stuff. So I think English is very important, even if the material is translated. There is something else. Let's call it owning time, as people who have full control on their time. Part-timers could be one of those who, let's call them time owners, because it's all about available free time. But being at office for 8 hours would keep less motivation to open your materials and study later at home, especially for large courses where there's a need for 8 hours a week for the learning material. So it could be done only on weekends and for less number of courses than someone else who owns more of his time and got flexible in working hours.
Okay, thank you for that, Ahmed. You've clearly taken a lot of courses in a lot of different subjects. Can you tell us how they have helped you in your personal and professional life?
Well, acquiring knowledge for sure is priceless for professional life and getting the best practices. But being able to build a different life model or different lifestyle was the most valuable gain in my personal experience. Becoming more passionate about acquiring knowledge, which is also known as long life learning, had become part of my lifestyle. I think this is the most valuable gain for me.
Great, and well done you for achieving that. From your experience, do you think that there are improvements that can still be made to MOOCs?
Improvements from the side of
from
the MOOC
the learner's perspective. How can providers improve the experience for the learner?
Yeah, well, MOOCs are growing rapidly. It's fact. This development, unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not sure, is exceeding the traditional organizations' abilities to get benefit of it. This is the MOOC's most critical issue, I think. MOOC supposed to provide knowledge, which is done. R&D is doing its job in a perfect way, and it seems that big data is really doing its magic to give insights on what needs to be done, what needs to be changed. But the authenticity of knowledge, of the knowledge provided by MOOCs to be considered by the employers is not less important than providing knowledge itself. And I think it's the traditional model depends on degrees with credit hours, which is not the case in MOOCs. Most of courses are non-credit hour courses. But MOOCs are classified as professional development more than education, which is part of the problem. We need to count them as education to get in the evaluation of each and every employee or worker. But the good news, this issue is going places, at least among IT firms where MOOCs are getting unofficial recognition, even by the human resource or by the firm itself. But still there is no official recognition for MOOCs as a degree or so.
Do you think that's something that is likely to change in the near future, Ahmed? Do you think that MOOCs will gradually get the standing that they should have amongst academics and amongst corporations?
In this regard, for this issue I raised? Or?
Well, just like you said that exactly. They're not formally recognized yet by employers or by academic institutions as being a valid credential.
There is an effort. I think Coursera had provided some for credit hours courses, but I'm not sure what future holds in this manner.
Yeah, it's a difficult one to predict. Yeah,
unpredictable. Yeah, the education market is becoming one of the biggest markets, and MOOCs are now entering the game, and that would appear after seeing the results of MOOCs by your efforts and the game changers and to reach this transformation level. I'm confused. I'm very confused about this issue. So
yeah, it's not a clear path.
Very hard to predict.
And what are your views, Ahmed, on the forms of assessment that are used in MOOCs these days?
The assessment methodologies. Okay. For sure, you know, currently MOOCs are depending on quizzes in most of the evaluation they do. They use auto-graded MCQs as the main assessment tool, besides some other auto-graded filling box, but that only works for numbers. Some MOOCs use the peer review peer review for assessment, which in case the autograde could not distinguish between the right and the wrong answers. That in case of essays or sophisticated projects. Peer reviews is okay sometimes, always. I experienced it many times. Everyone gets grade from 4 to 5 peers grading on clear criteria described by the instructor. The good thing with it that each peer leaves a comments that may be inspiring. But by the end of the day, peer review is non-guaranteed method. So we put the grading on peers. But I think fully automation is coming. So with more R&D and sophisticated algorithms developing, I think fully automation grade is not far away.
Yes, I agree with you, Ahmed. I think with the way technology is moving at such a fast rate, there will soon be much more effective assessment methods in this type of learning. I hope so, anyway. It will certainly help with giving MOOCs a better place in the general education market.
Yeah.
Finally, on a lighter note, can you share with us any particular event or incident that happened during your MOOC journey?
Yeah, once many things happened here and there in MOOCs. I can remember once I have been enrolled in a course related to knowledge discovery. After the end of the course activities, there was a delay in certificates, and the peers were very concerned about the issues they were discussing. The issue seriously, the issue of the delay of certificates in the discussion forum for sure. But I couldn't remember what happened exactly. The course staff disappeared, and the instructor peers were posting on the discussion forum about the issue and asking for certificates. No one from the platform staff or the course staff answered or responded to the posts. The course was provided by an American university. Sorry, I will not going to be able to mention the name of the university or even the instructor. Anyway, the peers start to post too many about the issue, and after a while, the sense of humor start to appear, and someone released the rumor that the professor appeared at Moscow because he has something related to Edward Snowden, and by that time Snowden issue was hot. But within all these chaos, 56 years woman posted asking for the certificate because it's going to make real difference in her semi-annual assessment for her current position in the company. that makes me say to myself, come on, people do something else. Still learning. I think I was not familiar to see. So that helped for myself.
Right, there was some interference there, so I didn't catch the last bit you said.
What?
I had some interference, but not to worry, Ahmed. Just to finish off, a question that I'd like to ask all my MOOC enthusiasts. If you had to design a MOOC yourself, what would it be?
Hard question. Whatever the topic of the MOOC, it has to focus on local issues. I think MOOCs provide good opportunity to bring people in one place. I think developing countries in general need more focused MOOCs. It has to be for public servants, let's say, in information management field. It has to focus on spreading best practices from our local cases between them. So it has to be more participatory MOOC than knowledge consuming MOOCs.
Excellent. Thank you very, very much, Ahmed, for giving us your time and sharing your story with us. I feel that you've shared a lot of great advice, and hopefully your experience will inspire other people to get onto the online learning wagon and improve their knowledge through these wonderful free courses. So on that note,
Thank you, Caroline, and allow me to thank you and Ankit and your team in MoocLab. You are paying too much effort, really. I hope that your series could bring a lot of transformation for MOOCs and for the education in general. So thank you very much for your efforts.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for your supportive words, and hopefully we'll be in touch again soon. Bye-bye, Ahmed.
I hope so. Bye-bye.